How's my Robrick family today? January 17th, 2020. Welcome to another episode of Robrick. Thank you to every single one of you for being with me today. Juanzo, one more time. Like any other Friday, we have Smackdown Live review for you guys. Was it a great show? Was it a bad show? We're gonna find out. I'm gonna do my best to actually make you guys have a good time. Unlike SmackDown does for every single Friday for us. You know, Fridays like it's the beginning of the weekend for everybody, so everybody's just excited. They want to see new things. They want to visit family. They want to hang out with friends. They want to do, go out for a drink. Just want to enjoy themselves. Just because, for example, for the ones that live in PA, we're going to have bad weather tomorrow. So please, every single one of the members of the family that is in Pennsylvania, please be safe. Tomorrow just going to be a few inches of snow. So let's hope nothing really bad happens and everybody's safe. So guys, before we start the review, like always, I want to say thank you to every single one of you that is watching the videos. New subscribers, thank you so very much for giving us your vote of trust. And we always commit to deliver the best reviews in the industry because we are the podcast that matters. So guys, remember, always hit that subscribe button for more content. We're always delivering content for you guys. We're always putting more videos. We try to cover every single major show in any major promotion. So let's start with SmackDown. SmackDown in the opening. Well, let's talk about the first main themes of the show, and that is Roman Reigns and Robert Roode. They were gonna collide in a tables match. John Morrison, they return to the ring into battle Big E, and this is the opening segment. Kane returns to SmackDown. Yes, Kane in 2020. Kane is still active and he's coming back to SmackDown. So he, mayor of Glenn Jacobs, he's gonna put the Kane mask again, and then he's gonna try to deliver on SmackDown Live. Why is he in this kind of storylines? I really don't understand, but I have a little bit of piece of rumors. I have some breaking news, so take this with a grain of salt though, okay? I just want to give you like something that I've been hearing, and we don't really know if this will actually become a reality, but it's an option that WWE officials are actually treating right now. And then we also have Lacey Evans and Sasha Banks to finally meet in the ring this Friday night because the past 2 weeks she's been avoiding the match. So we're going to be talking about this. The show overall was, I want to say, decent at most. Like the opening segment for me was not good actually. A lot of people probably think it was really good, but for me it didn't deliver because it actually is bearing the Fiend, and we're going to elaborate a little more once I start talking about this segment. And then of course, like the main event, what's there to say about that? Roman Reigns is in the main event, and of course he's gonna win. So for me, that whole main event tables match with Robert Roode is just meaningless. If Robert Roode would have won, it would have been glorious. I'm a big fan of Bobby Roode and the Glorious character. If you guys have been watching the video since the beginning, since with Robrick began, you guys would have known that I love Bobby Roode, the character with Glorious, when he was a real heel, but not this kind of Bobby Roode that always loses when he faces Roman Reigns. So I knew that this was going to happen, so to me, no surprises, nothing enticed me, nothing good. So for me, once again, Roman Reigns is stale, dead. All the past 6 months when the thing with Buddy Murphy, with Samoa Joe, those things were actually different for Roman. Everybody was kind of seeing a different light of Roman, and I actually enjoy a little bit of his character. But now he's going back to the main event. He's going back to the Incredible Roman, like the semi-god, like they call him, or the big dog. So for me, I don't really like that. And once again, another time that he wins. Do we really care about that? Absolutely not. So let's start with the show. And the first segment, Kane comes out into the ring in full gear, and then he goes with his entrance, the fire. Once again, why is he there? I'm not really making too much sense. I really don't like that he's back. Many people say, yeah, it's Kane, but come on, it's 2020. Like, again, Monday Night Raw, they have the Big Show coming back. SmackDown, of course, they have to put the other giant. And here's my first piece of rumors. I've heard that they want to do in WrestleMania. There's WWE officials are starting to think about the idea of doing a tag match between the Big Show and Braun Strowman against Hulk Hogan and John Cena. So to me, okay, this match is going to be awful. And as you can see, WrestleMania, because they haven't planned in advance, they are just putting people together just to hype WrestleMania for no absolute reason. Do you think you're going to enjoy yourself in a match with Hulk Hogan, that is 60 years old, John Cena, Braun Strowman, and The Big Show? Like two giants. Like we're going to go back to the years of WWF 1990 when we will see the Typhoon and Earthquake just having a match, like slow, like big moves, when that's all it is, like just big clotheslines and all of that. I don't think so. So let's go back to the review. Kane says that like we're 9 days away from the Royal Rumble, where 30 lost souls will put their mind, body, and the spirit on the line for an opportunity of a lifetime, a chance to compete at WrestleMania. He said, you go through hell, but the reward is a chance at immortality. He hyped his own record for the most career eliminations. That's one of the things that like he has. And then Roman also. But Roman has the most in one single Rumble. But then overall, Kane is the one that has the record for the most eliminations in the Royal Rumble. I wouldn't be surprised if he's actually part of the Royal Rumble. So maybe that's why he's back. He's going to probably have 1 or 2 more eliminations. That way his record keeps increasing. And then nobody can top that record, because that's one of the few things that Kane actually has. Jean Paul and I are going to be talking about Kane during the Broken Skull sessions with his interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin. But that will be ready for your weekend. So right now, let's get to more stuff about SmackDown Live. Suddenly, Bray Wyatt, we get another Firefly Funhouse vignette, or like a promo, and then he's like, hey Kane, like, you haven't lost a beat, you look great. And of course the Fiend, he says shame on him for eliminating so many people. Shame on you, Kane. You should not have that. He gave Kane a chance to say he's sorry, and we get to see like a pause and okay, time ran out. Then Wyatt assured everyone that Rambling Rabbit is alive, well, and recovering quite nicely. Then they show Rambling Rabbit hooked up into life support. So you can see that still the storyline with Daniel Bryan keeps progressing. I really, at this point, I'm still enjoying this. I think it's good, because you want to portray, again, Bray Wyatt and The Fiend really, really strong. He's your WWE Universal Champion. You need this guy to be extremely strong going up to the Royal Rumble, especially because they're warming up the title for Roman. So at least you want your champion to look good. Then Wyatt says that challenging for the title at Mania is a bad idea for everyone. Then Wyatt mentioned how Kane is on for The Fiend is a wall of victims. Then Wyatt says he'll never forget Kane before they show some highlights of them together, and then they go back to like the Inferno match that they have in SummerSlam 2013. A really great match, and that was like Bray Wyatt's first WWE pay-per-view match, and it was good. It was the last time that they actually did the Inferno match, and that was Kane and Wyatt and the Wyatt family. Bray Wyatt took the win for that, and that was a really good, nice flashback when it comes to that. And neither will he, Wyatt said before the lights went down and The Fiend appeared. The Fiend came out through the ring, and see, that's the one thing. This is when the bad style, this is when the crap begins. This is when like the complete stupidity begins. Fiend comes out through the ring and crawls towards Kane. Then Kane asks him, because Kane is actually facing the other side of the ring. He's actually facing to the Titantron, or to, you know, the main entrance. And then the Fiend is coming, he's crawling from underneath. And then Kane turns around, and then he goes and says, "What took you so long?" And then the Fiend turns around, and then Daniel Bryan, all of a sudden, he hits the running knee and beat Wyatt until he retreated under the ring again. The smoke appeared, and then Wyatt had the Fiend's dreadlocks in his hands. So then Bryan started to some yes chants as the red light went away. Kane got in the ring with Bryan, and then Team Hell No did some yes chants. So see, here's the stuff that like I don't understand. Why you do this? Even Corey Graves was saying in commentaries like, oh, it's the first time that the Fiend is retrieving. Why your champion should be retrieving? I don't understand. This guy, you need to portray this guy extremely well, and for some reason you don't want to do that. I don't understand why you don't like to do these things. is absolutely insane that you're doing this with The Fiend, because already you bury him at Hell in a Cell. So you've been rebuilding The Fiend. He's credible again. People actually are forgetting about what happened at Hell in a Cell. But no, with this, you make him look like a freaking idiot. You make him look like a pussy. And I don't like that. I just don't understand why they do this kind of things. When does The Fiend retrieve? The Fiend is supposed to be a powerful force that retrieves against nobody. And this time he looked like a freaking idiot. And once again, and they do the same thing that he did to Daniel Bryan, so probably they're going to tease a different look when it comes to The Fiend Bray Wyatt. And I will tell you the honest truth, I did not like how this segment ended. I understand that you got to give a little bit of the upper hand to Daniel Bryan going into the Royal Rumble, but I do not understand why you make The Fiend look extremely weak. Because Daniel Bryan actually beat the crap out of him, and okay, why is the Fiend not retrieving? Why is the Fiend not going back at Bryan? Why is he not throwing punches? Why is he not showing more power than Bryan? And see, that's one of the things I was just, okay, this does not make any sense. The writers of this segment, I just don't know what they're doing, because again, the Fiend look weak. And going to the Royal Rumble with one more week of build-up, I just hopefully for next week, what they do is they make the Fiend look powerful again. Because if they go with this, I don't think that his character is looking strong going into the Royal Rumble and even WrestleMania. Because I don't think they're going to do a title switch. At least for me, I don't think that they're going to do that yet. But we'll see. But I just don't, I can come to terms with this segment just because the champion, Universal Champion, The Fiend, he looked really, really weak, and Daniel Bryan actually looked really strong. And The Fiend also looked really dumb, because he's actually trying to attack Kane one more time. And then of course he played the stupid baby face, because he turns around and then Daniel Bryan jumps in. So I just didn't like this segment. So moving along. Kayla Braxton talked to Daniel Bryan backstage. He said The Fiend is best at running away and disappearing. Then he asked, how do you beat someone every time when he's in trouble? Then he says he has an idea. It's not a good idea, it's actually a smart idea. And then he said it's going to be a strap match at the Royal Rumble. So actually Daniel Bryan demands that type of match is going to be a strap match. And the last time I remember that they did a strap match, correct me if I'm wrong guys in the comments, please let me know. The last time that they did that was when The Rock and Triple H, they fought in a strap match. And the pay-per-view, I don't really remember, but the year has to be 1999. So that's when The Rock actually was carrying a brace, and that's the last time that they had a strap match. So very different, at least something new, something that we haven't seen in such a long time. So you can see at least creative on that end. They're giving you something that we could possibly enjoy. So we'll see what that goes. And then we go to the next segment, Big E against John Morrison. John Morrison, his in-ring return, everybody was hyping for him. I think that the way that they portrayed his return was really weak in that segment 2 weeks ago, when he was actually helping The Miz and Kathy Kelly was trying to interview The Miz, but then he came out. I would have never done that, because it's John Morrison. Please portray the guy a little bit better. He's been champion everywhere else. He's been champion on Impact. He's been champion in Lucha Underground. And also he was a NYSE champion, tag team champion on WWE. So why don't you have this guy portray in a more important matter? That's the one of the things I just didn't like how they portray him. To me, already in less than 1 day, in your first appearance, he became completely regular. He became irrelevant. In his first appearance, when he was supposed to be, oh my gosh, it's John Morrison, he's back, oh well, I want to see what he's gonna do. In 1 second he became irrelevant one more time. So they were gonna set up this match with Big E because of what happened last week with Kofi Kingston and The Miz. So let me throw you some spots in the match, because this match actually happened to be really, really short and to the point. In the end, John Morrison, the right guy, won. But let me take you to some of the highlights of the match. Big E took the advantage earlier on, and then Morrison started to gain control. He put Big E down and hit a standing shooting star press for a 2 count. Big E went for a big ending, but Morrison got loose. Then he went to the apron, kicked Big E, and went for a springboard flip. but Big E dodged and then hit a belly-to-belly suplexes. Then Kofi sent The Miz into the steel steps on the outside, and Morrison hit a dive on Kofi. Then he got up with a big smile on his face. The Miz saved Morrison from taking the spear from Big E. Then Morrison nailed a kick through the ropes and a running knee before nailing the Starship Pain for the win. So his finisher is really legit. I really enjoy that move, the Starship Pain. And like I said, a really short match, but the right man won. And then now that like he got the win, keep giving me this Morrison. But I think that like in the end they're gonna end up pairing him up with The Miz, and most likely we'll see this match at the Royal Rumble, and it's gonna be the New Day against Morrison and The Miz for the WWE SmackDown Tag Titles, which I'm not against it. I think I want to see it, and hopefully they pull the trigger and Morrison and The Miz win the titles. Both of them, they go back to being heel, being pricks. It's like we're the best team of the decade. We're better than the Bucks. We're better than the New Day. We're better than all of you guys. And that's the main reason that I came back. Is just to be with my friend and show that like we are, and we will be the best team in this division. So interesting on like this development. Like I said, I really, at least for the match, what it was really good. And like again, Morrison gets the win. A lot of people are excited for his return. If they keep letting him win about meaningful wins, I'm okay with that, because like I said 2 weeks ago, in 1 second he became irrelevant one more time. So then we get a promo of the Usos. They were backstage, of course, with the big dog, Roman Reigns, and of course they're hanging out, their cousins, their family. So they're talking about the match that he's gonna have with Bobby Roode, and Roman says before the break, "Welcome to the Uso Penitentiary," and they're asking him what's gonna be the stipulation, because that was one piece of information that they gave in the show, and it was like if Bobby Roode will win, then Baron Corbin will pick the stipulation for their match at the Royal Rumble, and if Roman would win, then he will be the one picking the stipulation. So the Usos are asking him, "Hey, Us, so what are you gonna give us, Us?" And he goes, "Well, I'm not gonna tell you." So he's gonna wait till the end, like everybody else. And then the Usos have a match with their Revival. We know that the Revival are actually most likely end up an AEW. They've been trading Mark his moves, his the Shatter Machine and everything. They've been trademark all like the Revival, all the phrases that they have, moves and everything, with the same person that does the trademarks for Cody Rhodes. So you see that like very, very likely the Revival is going to end up at AEW, which is good. Unfortunately, these guys have been portrayed like absolute trash ever since that they went to the main roster. I'm not the only one who thinks that way. Jean Paul also agrees, and every single one in the community, every single one that like have 5 senses right here, every single one will admit that like the Revival have been portrayed trash. The first 2 times I think is because bad luck, because either Dawson got injured and then the second time Wilder got injured, but after that it's just been a roller coaster of like pushes for the Revival. When they get good, of course, then they just portray like trash. They get good again, trash, good, trash, good, trash. So, and now just only trash, 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 trash. So I just feel that like if they leave, good for them. Go and be in a division that they're going to treat you like you mean something. Again, pair them up against the Lucha Bros. You have the Best Friends. You have the Young Bucks. You have all these tag teams. You have SCU. You even have Omega and Hammond and Adam Page for now. So you have Santana and Ortiz. So you have a lot of tag teams when you can thrive and you can improve yourself, because the Revival is a great, great team. But if you're not going to treat me according to my talents, then you are losing and I am losing also. So for that reason, I feel that like if they actually end up going to AEW is the best decision that they could do. If they resign with WWE, well then you're doing it for the money. Do I blame them for doing that? I don't think so, because again, they have families, they probably want to make some cash. But now AEW, with their extension of the contract till 2023, they have enough money, or even a little more, to be like, okay guys, come here and actually be portrayed like a good tag team. So they're going to have a match with the Usos. Again, another short match. SmackDown, what I'm really enjoying is that the matches are not being too long, and actually like they are focusing more in the storyline development. You guys will say, but Juan, come on, like you always complain about they don't give them enough time. But in this case, I feel that like if you put the story if you give them the right importance to the story, and then you just don't care about the type of the match, because for example the Usos and the Revival, we've seen that like 10,000 times. What else can they do different that they haven't done before? So for me, I just appreciate that. So let's go to some spots in the match, and we have the top guys tag in and out, and then they work on Jay and Dawson. They pull Jay up to the seated position by his beard, and they hit a few elbow drops and a headbutt before applying a headlock. Then Jimmy finally took a tag and laid Dash, and Dawson added to some clotheslines before hitting Dash with a Samoan drop. Then Jimmy hit a crossbody up to the top rope for a 2 count. Then the Revival tried to win with some double team thinking, but then Jay took a tag and then they laid them out with super kicks. Then Jimmy hit a splash on Dash, and as Jay dove onto Dawson for the 1-2-3. So the Usos won. Of course, the Usos just came back. You need to give some wins to the Usos. You know, the Revival, like I said, they're probably on their way out to AEW, so they gotta just take losses. If they resign, hopefully they just tell, hey, if we resign, treat us like we are somebody, because it's been 2 years of being portrayed like crap. You give me the tag titles, I start to feel important, and then boom, out. I have a match with the Undisputed Era that they could, and also the War Raiders at the Survivor Series, and no, you took that away from me and you give it to the New Day. So let's hope that like they treat the Revival a little better if they decide to resign, or at least, hey, AEW is right there, right in the corner. Hey, hi, Tony Khan, Cody, the Elite. Let me be alongside with the Elite, and I can be legit one more time. So the Revival cut a promo backstage about they needing to make a change. Then Dash said that like the company cares for them as much as they do as the entire tag team division. Which is, if it is a shoot, I understand it because it is the truth. Both divisions, either in Raw or SmackDown, they're absolute trash, and even on NXT, we can say they don't even have tag teams. That's even like the fact that they've been bringing teams from the NXT UK to do the Dusty Classic. So I understand why they will say those kind of things, because it makes absolute sense. They're just telling the truth, and hey, I appreciate truth. I appreciate honesty, so good for them. Suddenly, we get to see Lacey Evans and Bayley, and they were fighting, and then the camera rushed to them. Then Banks was sitting on the floor, and they did pull apart Bayley and Evans, but you can see that like Sasha Banks was like, oh, she hit me, so I guess Lacey Evans jumped Sasha Banks before we got to see that. So then we're gonna get more development on this story. But like Bayley and Sasha, they're like, oh my gosh, I hate her. I'm just gonna make her a stay-home mom. If I ever see her, I just gonna beat the crap out of her. And then Sasha is talking about, well, yeah, I've been busting my ass. I've been putting all my effort in my album, in my career, shooting a video, so I can actually be ahead of the game and all of that. And then we get the announcement that today is gonna be Bayley and Lacey Evans because Sasha cannot compete. And then Bayley's complaining about it. Why? But it's not going to be a title match, right? And it's like, no. But today it happens because we've been hyping the match. It was announced. And since your friend cannot make it, then you take the spot. Now we get to another backstage segment. Is about Mandy and Otis. The best storyline that SmackDown actually has. Because, again, we all feel for Otis. Otis is our guy. And, hey, we all want to be alongside the most beautiful girl, in this case Mandy Rose. Hey, I really love the storyline. I really love that they're taking care of this. They're making it really slow. They're pacing it. Like we get teases of it and it's not overexposed like maybe NXT with Undisputed Era. Maybe The Shield 2 years ago. Like every 2 segments we got to see Rollins or John Moxley, Dean Ambrose or Roman. So very, very happy when they give me these stories, like they give me pieces of it. They don't give me just the whole thing, but they give me enough so I can be like, okay, I'm still invested, but I'm not tired of it. So we get Sonya Deville. She's backstage with Mandy, and she's excited. She's saying, Sonya, you were right. I won the match last week with Alexa, and I'm really hoping that Fire and Desire 2020 is going to be their year. So Deville is actually going to fight the goddess, my goddess, Alexa, one more time, and Deville is asking if Otis can be there ringside. And then Sonya said, well, she got the Otis thing with Mandy. So it's like, hey, if Otis was able to help you out, maybe he can help me out. So she's like, will you ask him to be ringside? And she's like, Mandy, I can try. And maybe he will say yes. And he's like, you got it. He's going to come back. So then we get to the trainer's office. And then we get the segment that I previously told you guys. Robert family. Now we get to the next match in the show. Bayley versus Lacey Evans. And this match actually was probably the longest match in the show. And I really appreciate Bayley's intensity. Bayley as a heel, she's actually giving a different persona of her. I'm seeing a different personality, and I'm really enjoying how she plays with the crowd. Every time she was making like the heel moves, like cheap shots, she was going to them. Oh, you like it? You guys like this? Are you enjoying this? And I'm really liking how she's portraying herself as a heel, and also like she complains, she's whiny, she doesn't want to wrestle, she doesn't want to put the title on the line. So good for Bayley. Like 2020 can be a good year for Bayley. She needed this heel turn for years. So finally they pulled the trigger on that. I really hope that like she keeps portraying herself as a good heel. And the match with Lacey Evans was pretty good. I really thought it was a really good match. Two things on this though, family. Why am I seeing the match that I'm going to see at the Royal Rumble? See, that's my first complaint on that. You should not be giving me these matches already on free TV when I'm going to see him at the pay-per-view. So why couldn't like Lacey Evans fight somebody else? Why couldn't she just fight Sasha? We need to see, the pay-per-view matches. We need to see them on the pay-per-view. I don't need to see them 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. And also, why do I need to have the match with the champion to get myself a title match? Didn't we say it was going to be a new era? Didn't we going to say like it's going to be changed? Didn't they say that we were going to have different ruling when it came to getting title matches? So that's the one, like I said, the match itself, extremely good. For a women's match, very nice. Lacey Evans has improved in the ring very, very much. I see a lot different attitude also from her. I'm going to talk about her in just a little bit. But I just don't understand why they will give me the match 2 weeks before the pay-per-view. And also, why do I need to be the champion to get myself a title match? Again, give me number one contenders matches. Put other women. What happened with Dana Brooke? We haven't seen it. What happened with Carmella? What happened with her? We haven't seen these women. Why Nikki Cross is not fighting? Alexa Bliss is not fighting. Why don't we have these women involved into like I don't want to say a battle royal because we saw that on NXT, but hey, have a series of matches, and then whoever wins those series of matches, you can have Lacey Evans, Nikki Cross, you could have Alexa Bliss, Carmella, you could have Dana Brooke, Alexa Bliss, and then whoever wins those series of matches, they become the number one contender. Why can't we do these little things that are going to make the show more interesting rather than, oh, I gotta be the champion, and of course automatically, boom, like this, then we get like, oh yeah, I'm going to be the number one contender and I get a championship match. I don't really appreciate that, but I'm going to take you to some spots in the match that, like I said, what it was good, but again, we already saw it today. So what can they do different at the Royal Rumble? This match should have never happened until the pay-per-view. So, Lacey hit a couple of clotheslines and threw Bayley across the ring. She nailed another kick and hit a Bronco Buster before Bayley got the knees up when Evans went for a moonsault, and Evans rolled out to the ring. Then Bayley hit a running knees on the barricade as Lacey Evans laid on the floor outside. When we came from the commercial break, Bayley still had the upper hand on Evans. Then Lacey moved on Bayley, ate the turnbuckle. Evans sent Bayley to the outside on their way, and Bayley hit a cutter for a 2 count. Then Bayley hammered down on Evans with some punches and hit a suplex for a 2 count. Evans took a flying elbow for a 2 count also, and Bayley hit a knee to the face, but then Bayley missed, and she missed a crossbody from the top rope, and then Evans nailed the women's right for the 1-2-3. I really enjoyed this last sequence because, well, like I said, once again, then Bayley did the diving elbow, remembering and honoring Macho Man Randy Savage, but then she got nailed by the women's right. Again, why is the women's right different from a regular punch that Lacey Evans throws? That's kind of like, okay, I don't understand where that goes, but that's to me again the KO punch with the Big Show, same thing. But the match was good for both women. I really enjoyed the interaction, and Lacey Evans is definitely over with the crowd. I don't think that they add the extra noise with the crowd, but like she's been portrayed better, and people are actually getting behind Lacey Evans, especially like the Marine sign, because she keeps doing that. She keeps honoring that aspect of her life, or those days in her life. So I really think that like she's becoming more over and over with the crowd, and she got the win. And of course, later on in the show, it was revealed that she will be challenging Bayley at the Royal Rumble for the WWE SmackDown Championship. So we knew that this was going to happen because that's why they kept the story going. But it's nice to see that they finally made it official and they're going to be fighting another Royal Rumble. But like I said, once again, what can they do different than what they already gave me today? So moving along, we get Shorty G and Sheamus, and they had a little trash talking backstage, and then they got physical before Sheamus looked much stronger, but he was really pissed. So another match that it was announced is going to be Shorty Gable and Sheamus. So I'm like, okay, why do you give me this type of match at the Royal Rumble? I'm not really invested in this storyline. I know that in the end Sheamus is going to win. He just came back. He promised he was going to be so destructive force in the SmackDown locker room. He was going to be taking down every single one of the locker room and in the roster. So I don't understand why you're giving me this kind of matches that I know who's going to win. And Shorty G, I know that like you need to put Chad Gable in some type of feud, but against the size matters and rise above the size with Sheamus, I just don't think it's working. And I know it's going to be a squash match. For me, if Sheamus doesn't win, and if he doesn't win in a simple, easy way, already Sheamus is buried, and then he joins the likes of John Morrison. Like, you're wasting 2 great returns. And also with the Usos. You wasted 3 returns and you didn't do anything special with them. To me, Sheamus, once again, Sheamus would have been great to feud with Roman instead of like giving me the same story with Baron Corbin, but they don't like to do that. And again, I just don't understand why you give me Sheamus and Shorty G. Give me something a little better for Sheamus. I heard reports that they were actually trying to change his character, his gimmick, and they were actually pitching ideas that he should wear suspenders. So you can tell that these guys in creative, they don't have a mind for professional wrestling. They don't understand the psychology of wrestling, and they just want to portray these guys as absolute trash, stupid, and they think that this is a soap opera. And in a way, they're right, but give me more realism. You know, make these guys look legit. Make them look real. And Sheamus is a guy that needs to be portrayed as somebody powerful, somebody destructive. Is like a threat for every single one in the locker room. And with suspenders, like a white version of Steve Urkel. So I don't understand why they will do that. And again, I just feel that this match is going to fill some time for the Royal Rumble. So we'll see. So we get another segment from a glorified wrestler that become all of a sudden a rock star. Or, yeah, is a rock star that I just don't get why he doesn't get matches when he has enough skill ability to pull out like some great matches. And this is the case of our guitar player named as Elias. Family, Elias started to sing a song and then he's stopped by Shinsuke Nakamura and Sami Zayn. And then they're just talking about back and forth. Then Elias says that he's going to start singing another song. And he starts talking trash about Nakamura, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn. But then he wanted the crowd to say Shinsuke sucks. But then Sami told Cesaro to show Elias what they do to funny guys when they're around there. And then they're like the 3 of them are just beating Elias up. But then Braun Strowman comes out and then he makes the save. And then he cleans house with all 3 of them. And as you can see, guys, this feud is going to be probably official next week. It's going to be Shinsuke Nakamura and Braun Strowman for the IC belt. I already said my thoughts on that. I don't want to see Braun Strowman as the IC champion. I don't think that he can add that relevance, that prestige. He's not able to do that. He's not over enough for me and believable enough for me to bring that title to different heights to make it look legit again. Because again, it has a new design. People should be focusing on that title rather than stupid rivalries like this. Like you have Elias right there. Why? You don't need Elias to make this feud great. You just like use Elias right there because you just don't have anything else to do for him. And that is something that they need to come out with better things for Elias. This feud even with Nakamura and Braun Strowman doesn't make any sense. And that's one of the things that they should give Nakamura and Braun Strowman other things to do, not fighting for the IC belt. Again, we haven't seen Mustafa Ali in God knows how long, and that should be the guy that is able to put a really great match with Nakamura and maybe take the title away from him, and then keep feuding with that title, and then at least you keep Nakamura with like a really great guy that is going to make Nakamura look better, rather than Strowman that is going to be just the power slam and done. So I did not appreciate that thing, and it was just another segment that it was just trashy. It was just not good, and it was just to waste some time. Again, they keep hyping that feud that I'm pretty sure is going to be confirmed that next week, and it's going to be Braun Strowman and Nakamura for the IC belt at the Royal Rumble. Then we go to another quick match, Sonya Deville versus the Goddess Alexa Bliss. Otis came down before the match, and they started with he was with Tucker, and then Bliss and Deville, they wrestled until Bliss hit a 2 drop toe holds and then some strikes before landing to a basement drop kick and then some kick into the corner, but they were working really fast. We knew that like from time management they probably they make it like a really simple match, nothing really interesting from this match. And then Bliss went for the DDT, but Rose went on the apron, and then Cross knocked her off, and Otis caught her. So Mandy Rose is going to assist Sonya Deville, but Nikki Cross helped her out. She beat her, she punched him, and then she falls down onto Otis. So that was like the best spot of the night. You should have seen Otis' face. It was really great to see her holding Mandy. Even Mandy's reaction is like, oh, that's my hero. Hey, Otis. And Otis, he smiled like any single one of us will do. If the hottest girl in the class, the hottest girl in your job, the hottest girl that you know falls on your arms and you're just holding her, he smiled like he was smiling for every single one of us that are rooting for this guy. So we were all jumping. At least I was like, Otis, because the guy deserves a main event status, and this storyline hopefully is helping him to get to that. So we get that, and again, see, even in my notes, I put that was the photo of the decade. Again, because it's just that good of like a reaction. And again, we just want to see guys like that the guys that like probably will think they will never get a shot to get a shot. It's like the underdog theme, but into like getting like the hottest girl in the show, in the building, wherever you are. So good for Otis, good showing. And there's Alexa Bliss got the roll up for the win. Like, you're not gonna have Alexa Bliss lose twice in 2 weeks. You're just not gonna do that, because again, the Goddess has a lot of fans. It has a lot of haters also, but she still has her status in WWE. She's not portraying into like a feud for the title, but of course, like, she has still some stock that like will not allow her to lose all the time. And you will see, if she will start losing all the time, you'll see the backlash that it will produce, just because all the fans that she has, and they will start complaining about that. So guys, it's time for the main event. Robert Roode, glorious Robert Roode. I don't know what's glorious about him. They took all his gloriousness away from him when he was on NXT, and I've said this so many times, so I sound like a freaking broken record. I'm not gonna say it again, but this guy deserves better. Like, Dolph Ziggler deserves better, but again, Dolph is content how he is. If he wants to be a conformist, that's him. But give Robert Roode a better persona. Get him back his balls, because he lost them, and then ever since he became a porn star with the Robert Roode and the mustache, at least he looks like Bobby Roode once again. Start calling him Bobby Roode, glorious Bobby Roode. I will put him in a feud with like a Mustafa Ali, if Mustafa Ali will win the IC championship, and then he can win the IC championship from Mustafa Ali, or turn Nakamura face, or do something. And they, like Jean Paul was saying in one of his reviews, go back to that feud of Shinsuke Nakamura and Bobby Roode that it was so good on NXT. That's what they need to do with this guy. And I'm so sad to see how Bobby Roode just is portrayed like a nobody. And the guy has talent. He has a good moveset, and he's already fighting his last years of his career. So why not give this guy like a main event status? Because I will take Bobby Roode any day. But I mean any day over Baron Corbin. I will absolutely take Bobby Roode any second over Baron Corbin. Baron Corbin to me is stale. Like his promos are scripted. He doesn't sound real. He sounds cheesy. He sounds cringy. If they will let him talk like he really is, maybe I will get behind him, because like the moveset that he has is semi decent. I do enjoy the End of Days. I do enjoy the 6, but because like this King Corbin persona, this King Corbin gimmick, I'm so tired of it. I don't like it at all, and that's why I will take Glorious Bobby Roode any single day. With snow, no snow, sunny, breezy, I don't care. I will always take Bobby Roode, despite that he was kind of like an asshole when I saw him at WrestleMania. I forgive you for that. So let's go through some aspects of the match. Let's go through some highlights. They set up a table in the ring, and they were teasing going through it with a couple of moves, and then Roode took a pose and went outside. Then Roman Reigns nailed a Superman punch, of course. Superman punch all the time. You know that like when you see the Superman punch, you see it's already done. It's already done. Just get ready for like the end. So he hit the Superman punch on the outside, and then he rolled Roode into a table, and then they set it up. Roman was about to spear, but Baron Corbin, of course, he has to come out because this is the greatest storyline in WWE, right? So Corbin comes out and he starts distracting him. Then Ziggler hit a super kick, even though call it like a switch-in music, but yeah, I understand why he will call it a switch-in music, because he's trying to at least honor Shawn Michaels. And see, that is something that, where are they getting this from? Mauro Ranallo. Guys, you will say, why is he saying this? Because Mauro Ranallo gives the name of the moves to the guys that like made the move famous. For example, when Io Shirai does the 619 by Rey Mysterio, honoring Rey Mysterio. So probably that's why like they're catching on into that, and that's why they're calling the super kick the switch in music. So they put Roman Reigns on the announce table, and Roode was going to jump on him. But the Usos showed up, and then with super kicks and suicide dives, then the Usos set Ziggler on the table and hit a double splash on Ziggler before Roman Reigns sent Roode through the table, and 1, 2, 3, of course. He speared him through the table. Did we not think that he was going to win? I think we all knew he always wins in the end. It doesn't matter. Superman punch, spear, and done. We've been seeing this for the past 5 years of my life. We know how it ends. So it reminds me of big boot, leg drop, and done. And Roman Reigns, of course, he gets the win. And then he finally makes his stipulation for the match. And he says it's going to be a false count anywhere. But if you think about it, TLC, like a month ago, it was a TLC match, which it happens to be also false count anywhere, despite the fact that you just gotta grab whatever's on the top, or like in the case of Baron Corbin, like he just got the pin. So what's different from what you already give me at TLC? It's just the pin. You can just pin Roman on the outside, but the match that we've seen for the past 3.5 months, it's just gonna be another chapter that I really don't want to see. I'm not really behind this. So especially if both of them are going to be competing double duty, because they're going to be in the Royal Rumble. So we're going to go see them already once. And of course, who's going to win? Roman. And then if Roman wins the Royal Rumble, it's going to be just a terrible night for professional wrestling. I just don't want to see that. I'm hoping it doesn't happen. I know WWE probably is thinking about going that route. Let's hope not. Let's hope like they open their eyes. Let's hope a miracle happens. We'll have wishful thinking. 2020 is a different year. So let's hope that that's what they end up doing. That Roman doesn't win the Royal Rumble. And maybe Baron Corbin wins the false count anywhere. And finally the feud is over. But we know that in the end of the day, Roman is going to win at least the match with Baron Corbin. I just hope that he doesn't win the Royal Rumble. We also had a video package of Rocky Johnson, because we all know that The Rock's dad unfortunately passed away 2 days ago, and we had a really, really nice video package talking through all his career, how he won the tag champions with Tony Atlas, becoming the first African American team of winning the WWF tag team champions. And then of course he's The Rock's dad, and he's the one that introduced The Rock into the business. And then the great one ended up reaching the heights that he got, to the point that like he's the highest paid actor in Hollywood. So we got to see that. Like WWE, of course, They're always amazing when it comes to video packages. And overall, like I said, the show through the middle was interesting. Once again, Lacey Evans and Bayley was good. I like that. I like how John Morrison got the win. So these two things. Of course, I like to see the Goddess winning. Of course, she's limited. She's not extremely great in the ring. Okay, you guys can bash me all you want. I understand. I take all the bullets because it is the truth. She's not good in the ring, but I did enjoy her getting a win. Of course, it's a terrible match. I did not like the moves or anything, the interactions, but at least she got the win. But also Mandy Rose and Otis is still the storyline that is the hottest thing on SmackDown. Like the best thing, the hottest thing, the thing that everybody's looking forward to see next week is Otis and Mandy Rose. So hopefully they keep going through that. I know and they're dragging it, but because it's good, people are invested in it. Like I'm pretty sure every single one of you're gonna see pictures of Mandy Rose, being held by Otis. So this concludes the review. Do I see something different for next week? I don't think so. I just feel that there's going to be a little bit more build-up for the Royal Rumble. And like I said, I promised you that I was going to have a rumor when it comes to Kane. And it's going to be in the likes of this, guys. February, there's going to be a show in Saudi Arabia. A lot of guys already have expressed, a lot of wrestlers I should say, so you guys understand me a little better. A lot of wrestlers have expressed their desire of not wanting to go to Saudi Arabia because of the situation that happened the last time they were there, and also all the crisis that is going on with Iran right now, all those things that are taking place, like there's like all this back and forth like in politics with Donald Trump and all of that, and they already have expressed their desire of not wanting to go to Saudi Arabia. So I've seen a picture, and it's not confirmed, that the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, is going to be defending the WWE Universal Championship against Kane in Super Showdown in Saudi Arabia. So if that happens, you guys know why they started the storyline right now. So I'm ready telling you, if that happens, oh my gosh, like you really have to go to Kane to have a match in that show. And you promise these people in Saudi Arabia to have they're gonna have great matches, like great shows over there. Please just stop having those shows. Please stop bringing back all guys just to like fill the spots that like your current roster have to have, and they don't want to do it just because you're all. Please just don't force your roster to be doing these things just because you want money. So I just don't want this match to happen. I don't think it makes any sense. Hopefully it's just a bad rumor, but I feel I will share this with you guys. So give me your comments, tell me what you think about this, and like I said to you guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Like I said, hit that subscribe button for more content. We will have a lot of things planned for this week, John Paul and myself. And thank you once again to every single one of you for watching those videos. And don't forget, we have Roadbreak on Facebook, and we have on Twitter the OG Roadbreak, and then we have Instagram the original Roadbreak. And in the name of Juanso, which is myself, I just want to say thank you, and I'll see you next time, that it will be tomorrow and Sunday. And I just want to say to every single one of you,